find about 20 on this page. Which 21?
Oh, the small one.
Okay. So for number 20, if y varies directly as x and y equals 3 when x equals 12, what is the value of y when x equals 18? So it tells you varies directly. So direct variation, be in that mindset. We have a y and x value, and we have to find k. How would we find that k value? Divide y by x, so 3 divided by 12, and simplify. Then use your k value and your x value to find your y value. Y equals kx, so y equals 1/4 times 18, which would give us questions on that one before we use 21? Very similar. You're given all the data, but now it is inversely proportional. So now we are in inverse mode. How would we find the k for these? Multiply. So k equals 7 times 9. What is our k value? 63. Now we're trying to find x when y is 14. So in our equation, y equals k over x. We know y is 14, k is 63, and we don't know x, so we're going to solve for it by doing what?
Dividing.
Dividing what?
X.
So x is already being divided. How would we get rid of it?
Like
Multiply
x.
And then dividing by 14, which would give us
4.5.
Other questions? Yes, I think we've already done this, but we can do it again. The number of calories burned while jogging varies directly with the number of minutes spent jogging. If George burns 150 calories by jogging for 10 minutes, how many calories does he burn by jogging for 30 minutes? What's important there? What's important?
Varies directly. Number of calories.
Number of calories, the words here. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Number of calories. Number of minutes. What else? Okay.
150 calories.
150 calories. 20 minutes. Anything else? Okay.
How many calories does he burn by jogging for 30 minutes?
So whatever comes before the words varies directly is your y value. Whatever comes after is x. So then every time you see number of calories, that is y. Number of minutes, that is x. So which variable are we solving for? Y. And it says varies directly, so be in the direct mindset. To find k, we would do what? Divide 150 by 20 to get 7.5. And then we're looking for how many calories are y. And it's going to be y equals kx. So y equals 7.5 times 30. Which is 2.5 what?
Calories.
Calories. Remember, if it doesn't say the word varies directly, varies inversely, any of those words, if they go up together or down together, that's direct. If one goes up and one goes down, that is inverse. Other questions?
Can we do number 24?
So number 24 on the back. The time required to complete a job varies inversely as the number of people working. It took 4 hours for 7 electricians to wire a building. How long would it have taken 3 electricians to have done the job? What is important here? Varies inversely. What else?
4 hours.
4 hours.
7 electricians.
7 electricians. Time required. Number working. 3 electricians, and we're looking for
How long it will take?
how long it would take. So then the time in this would be which variable? Y. So that means 4 hours would be Y. Number of people would be X. So 3 electricians, 7 electricians would be X. How long we're looking for which variable? But now we're in inverse mode. So how would we find K? Multiply 4 and 7. And then we would set up our equation y equals K over X, so 28 over 3. Which would give us 9.3 repeating. There's only one answer with 9 in it, but if you wanted to match the minutes, take that, divide it by 60, and you would get that same decimal. Other questions? On the previous page, on the first set. So is 18 direct inverse or neither?
Neither.
Because it's not a line that goes to the origin, it doesn't look like this, so it's neither. Any others? 13 on this. Michaela, which one is
19 on this page.
So we'll do 13 first, then 19. So if it doesn't say varies inversely or directly, then you have to guess. Do we think this is going to be direct or inverse? I heard something, but didn't hear what it was. Okay. So if we think it's going to be direct, we're going to divide y by x. So 1.5 divided by 2, what would that give us?
0.75.
0.75. 4 3/4. 3 divided by 4 is the same thing as 0.75. 6 divided by 8. 3/4. And 8.25 divided by 11. Also 3/4. So because it's 0.75 or 3/4 for all of them, it is direct. If you started to do that and they were not the same, you could try inverse. If they were the same with inverse, then it's inverse. If they were not the same, it would be neither. 19, same thing. Do we think these are going to be direct or inverse?
Inverse.
Okay, so let's multiply. Negative 6 times 8. Negative 48. Negative 4 times 12. Negative 48. Negative 3 times 16. And negative 2 times 24. So it is inverse. Other questions? Eight on the previous page or the next page? So when you read your mapping, you're looking for which x goes to which y. If you need to, highlight it so you can see a little bit better. Do you think these are going to be direct or inverse? Okay, so let's multiply. 1 times 20 is 20. 4 times 5 is also 20. 8 times 2.5
20.
is also 20. And 10 times 2 is also 20. So it is inverse.
We didn't remember one.
Number 1 on this page?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this direct, inverse, or neither? Direct, because it's in your y equals kx formula. Other questions?
Can we do 2?
Now, this is not in your direct or inverse equation formats, but is it one of the ways we find k? Yes, which one? Direct or inverse?
Inverse.
Inverse. K equals y times x. So without solving, you would know it's b. If you weren't sure, you could always solve for y, divide both sides by x. And you would see it's in the inverse format, so it would also be inverse. Other questions? Because this is in standard form, it's going to be linear, so you have to decide if it's going to be direct or neither. If this has a number that's not 0, it's going to be neither. But you can solve it just to make sure. So subtract your x term, divide your y, so that we get y equals 4x minus 1. It is linear, but it doesn't go through the origin. The y-intercept is not 0, so it is neither. So if you see a problem like that, you don't have to do the work if you know it's neither, but you can to double check yourself. But if you get a problem like this where this value is 0, that is direct. Other questions? right now this is not in either format. So solve it by doing what? Multiplying the 3. We have y equals 3x. This is direct, inverse, or neither.
Direct.
Direct. Any other questions? So if the point 12,4 lies on the graph of a direct variation, what is the constant of variation? So what are we looking for? What is the constant of variation? Which variation? So not y. K. You're looking for k. You know it's direct. Do I? Or right bar. So your k value would be last question. If any.
11.
On the same page.
Yeah.
In which graph is y a direct variation of x? It's just asking which one is a direct variation. The only line that goes through the origin. Go ahead and clear off your desk. Keep your calculator and whatever you're writing with.